Just to give you a sense of why we invited Dale Peterson in studio with us, and he's here. Last night I received a couple of telephone calls. Actually, I received one and then I made one regarding Dale and some things that were going on in Hoover over the weekend. The story was set to break, and I wanted to give Dale Peterson an opportunity to tell his side of the story before others attempted to spin it in any way. And Dale Peterson joins us in studio. Hello, Dale.
Hello, Matt.
How are you?
Man, I'm blowing and going.
So the story that I was told last night was that Dale Peterson was arrested in Hoover over the weekend.
Not true.
You were not arrested?
No, I was arrested, but not over the weekend.
Oh, not over the weekend.
It was last year.
It was last year?
Last year.
When were you arrested?
I think it was October or something like that.
Okay. What happened?
Apparently, I'm a thief, according to Wal-Mart. So, well, that's actually true. And the way that they wrote the report is actually the way things happen. I went into Wal-Mart. I was like you just got back from the restroom. I had to go to the restroom, but I said I can hold it. So I went on back. I picked up 2 cartons of beer and a roll of paper towels. And I went right straight back up to the cash register. It had a line there. I couldn't wait. So I went across over to the restroom, pushed my buggy over there. When I came out of the restroom, security was there, and they called the cops and arrested me for stealing a roll of paper towels and a
couple of cases of beer.
2 cartons of beer, yeah.
Now, have you been to court on this?
Not yet, no.
When is that court date?
Beats me. It keeps changing, and it's not because of us. It's because they have evidently so many thugs and criminals down there in Hoover. They just move it out and move it out. It happened last.
This is at the Wal-Mart on Highway 150.
150, yeah.
Near the Galleria.
And you know, I can't really blame those people right there. They have the rules and regulations, but from what I understand and what we were told in our attorneys is that once you cross a point of sale, which is the cash registers, without paying, you have stolen the merchandise.
Okay, here's why I think a lot of folks are going to have a hard time understanding this.
I have a hard time understanding it.
I've done that before.
I have too.
And they didn't do anything to me.
Didn't do anything to me before either. That's why I went over there.
Why do you think do you think they were targeting you?
No, what I think was going on is it was kind of there were a lot of them in there that's in the security thing. And they had already, from what I understand, gotten 3 or 4 folks that day. And that store evidently has a lot of theft. So they were just basically there setting up like you see troopers down the street there, and you got 4, 5, 6 in a row catching speeders. I believe that's what was going on there. That store, and I know how retail is because Kathy and I were in retail for nearly a decade, and there's nothing any more gut-wrenching than to go over to an item that you've bought and have on the store shelf and look in the box and it's gone.
All right, this happened. You said this happened last October.
Yes.
I'm having a difficult time understanding how this would rise to the level of arrest. Did you explain to the store manager?
The manager wasn't there. Wasn't anyone there but a supervisor. I asked for that. You don't get to say a whole lot from what I experienced there. But I can tell you, once I went to Hoover, the police station, Kathy came down, and they didn't understand it really because they just set me out there basically in their lobby there and waited on Kathy to come down and get me out of the pokey. So when we got out, we went straight back to the Hoover store, and I bought the merchandise and took it home.
All right, so I just want to get a sense of the scene. The Hoover police, the security folks say, hey, you stole this, we got to arrest you, or we're calling the cops.
Yeah.
And the Hoover police get there.
Yeah.
And you tell the Hoover police what? I
didn't intend to steal. I had no intention to steal. The only intention I had when I crossed that line was to go pee.
And how did they respond to that?
They said, well, it's up to Hoover. It's up to the store.
You hadn't left the store.
I hadn't left the store. I hadn't left the building. No. Haven't gone anywhere. It's just, it's remarkable.
Now, for those that don't remember, and David, cue up Dale's commercial, because for those that don't remember, and I understand you get lost in all of this political shuffle. Dale, of course, ran for Agriculture Commissioner, and his wife Kathy ran for Public Service Commission in the last election cycle. Dale was tapped to get on board with John McMillan. That didn't work out, and Dale kind of became nationally known for this commercial, which went viral on YouTube and all over the internet.
I'm Dale Peterson, and I'm after the Republican nomination for Alabama Agriculture Commissioner. I've been a farmer, a businessman, a cop, a Marine during Vietnam. So listen up. Alabama Ag Commissioner is one of the most powerful positions in Alabama, responsible for $5 billion. Bet you didn't know that. You know why? Thugs and criminals. If they can keep you in the dark, they can do whatever they want with all that money. And they don't give a rip about Alabama. Here we are, losing 3 family farms a day. Illegals bust in by the thousands, and Alabama's unemployment's at an all-time high. And what are my opponents doing about it? Stealing yard signs in the dark of night from my supporters. Norman Grace brags on his Facebook page about receiving contributions from industries he would regulate. Bragging about receiving illegal money on Facebook. Who on earth would support such a dummy? And why? We're Republicans. We should be better than that. I'm Dale Peterson. I'll name names and take no prisoners. Give me the Republican nomination for Ag Commission, and let's show Alabama we mean business.
That's kind of how your name became on the map, and you've gone all over the country, really based on this ad, and the ad focuses on stealing on a couple of occasions. And now, do you sense the irony that now you have been accused of stealing?
It's ironic, isn't it?
It is, and it's also, Dale. And look, I've never known you to lie to me, but once. I mean, you did lie to me once. When you and your wife were scheduled to be on this radio show, you claimed you had to leave town and go to Montgomery, when in fact I found out you were having breakfast at the time that you were supposed to be here at a Hardee's down the street. So you lied to me once. How do I know you're not lying now?
Okay, let's back up and answer your other question why I lied to you once. You lied to your audience because we had 2 bookings that day. Kathy doesn't book them, and she didn't book them, and I didn't.
No, Cass Curtis booked it, and Cass Curtis told me that it was on her and your direction that you canceled the interview because you were afraid that I was going to submarine you, Dale. Now, listen, you're a bully, and I don't like bullies, and that's why I have you on this show today. Because it is unbelievable to me or anyone else in this audience that you would be arrested outside of a restroom based on a simple misunderstanding. There's video of this, Dale. You know all of this is going to come out. You don't have to lie about this today.
Don't have to. It's on the video.
It's on the video
yes.
that you went to the bathroom.
Yes.
It's not on the video that it's my understanding you circled around a number of times and just headed out the door. That's what I understand is on the video.
Well, you understand incorrectly.
Mm-hmm. And you believe you'll be exonerated when you get your day in court?
I don't know what'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect to. Let's back up a minute here.
Did you steal that beer, Dale? Did you steal that beer?
No,
I'm not laughing. I don't think it's funny. You run around the country and you run around this state talking about thugs and criminals. Dale, you gotta walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk. Why in the world? I've done it 100 times. My wife's done it 100 times, and I don't understand why in the world they arrested you.
You want me to say something now? You want to keep on?
It's up to you, Dale.
Well, first of all, Cass Curtis is not a liar. He didn't tell you that. You made it up, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He said right here. He said,
no.
You didn't cancel the interview? You and Kathy didn't cancel the interview?
No, we didn't cancel the interview.
Dale, you're making things up as you go along.
You're making things up in order to get more ratings.
You're accusing the Hoover Police Department of arresting you for no reason.
No, I'm not.
That's exactly what you're doing.
No, I'm not.
Did you steal the beer?
No, I didn't.
Were you arrested for stealing at Walmart?
I was.
And you're saying you didn't steal it, but you were arrested for stealing. So why did the Hoover Police Department arrest you?
Because Wal-Mart swore out a warrant.
Mm-hmm. For stealing.
For stealing.
And the Hoover Police Department accepted that and arrested you.
They have no choice but to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I was a cop. I understand
how do you figure you won't be exonerated if the tape shows that all you did was go to the bathroom?
Once, according to the Walmart's regulations and rules and all this other stuff, is that once you pass a point of sale, you have then stolen the merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens when we get there and explain it to a judge? I don't know, but that is the way that they write things down, and that is exactly the way it is.
You understand how this is hard to believe, don't
you?
No,
I don't. I do, because I've done the same thing. I don't know how many times, maybe 100 times like you. I've gone to the restroom, my buggy's out there, I push it right back through the thing, I go in there and I shop some more and I come out. But this one instant, this one instant, didn't work, didn't fly. Now, if you have a hard time believing that,
I do. Honestly.
I can't help that.
I do. Honestly.
I can't help that. You have a hard time believing anything, even the truth, man.
Does this make you a thug or a criminal?
No, it doesn't.
No. And how is that?
How is it that it does?
Well, you were arrested. You seem to be a little tense, Dale, and I understand that. I understand that you do this little act, and you're not accustomed to being challenged because you're a bully, and that's fine. And you've tried to bully me in the past, and that's fine. And you know what? I'm a big boy. I can take it.
You're a big boy.
Is this is it?
What?
That your entire excuse is that you were arrested for going to the bathroom.
It's not an excuse. It's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm. And you're not familiar with when your court date is going to be.
Well, the last court date was in November. Then it got put off to February. My lawyer tells me when to come, and now I don't know when it's put off to. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't over the weekend.
Do you believe that this would end any political aspirations you might have?
I don't know if I have any political aspirations.
You're not considering.
Much less ending.
You're not considering whether to run for Ag Commission against John McMillan? I've heard that you are.
You have? Boy, you've heard a lot of things, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you even heard I got arrested over the weekend. Just happened to be, last year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why I had you on to clarify things, and you certainly have done that, Dale.
Well, it's kind of hard to clarify if you don't take a breath, man.
You don't appreciate people calling you a liar, do you?
Would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't appreciate liars, though.
Well, I don't appreciate them either. But in the case that we keep going back to when 2 bookings were made, and you lied here on your radio station about Kathy, and even had somebody call over and knowing we were on the other station with Michael Hart at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden
you were scheduled to be on my show at 8:30 in the morning.
I don't remember what time it was.
And you canceled because you were afraid that it would be you and Kathy canceled.
I didn't cancel. Who called you and canceled it?
Your campaign manager.
There you go.
At the direction of whom? Kathy Peterson. It's unbelievable that it is unbelievable to me and anyone else in this listening audience.
No, it's not unbelievable to anybody else.
You would be arrested in a Wal-Mart without having stolen that merchandise.
Well,
why did you steal the beer, Dale?
Oh, get off it.
Dale,
get off it.
There is no question in my mind.
Well, it probably is. Go ahead.
The Hoover Police Department, they don't arrest law-abiding citizens for no reason, Dale.
You're absolutely right. They don't arrest people for no reason. They arrest people when the warrant is sworn out for them. Mm-hmm. So a warrant was sworn out for me but right there at Wal-Mart, and they have to arrest. There's nothing wrong with the Hoover Police Department. It's the finest outfit we have in the state.
They treat you well when you were in jail?
They did. They were with respect.
How long were you in jail?
More so than here.
How long were you in jail? You don't deserve my respect, Dale.
I don't want your respect, Mac, because nobody respects you.
Why don't you get your hat and get out?
Big guy, if you can't have it your way, you won't have it at all, will you?
You want to have no, Dale. I will give you an opportunity to say anything you want to my listening audience. You go right ahead.
I probably say, okay. Let me get back to the cancellation. If you won't interrupt. And the cancellation. You call Kathy Peterson and ask her to be on your show. She says yes. Cass Curtis had already booked her for Michael Hart at the same time. And you knew that. Let me finish.
And you're
not going to let me, are you?
No, Dale.
No,
I'm
you're
not going to let you lie. You're a liar, man.
You're a liar, Matt. You're the biggest liar I've ever seen.
What have I lied about, Dale?
This, right now, that I called you or Kathy called you and canceled this.
No, you told Cass Curtis to cancel.
You don't know what I told Cass Curtis.
Dale.
You don't have a clue what I told Cass Curtis.
Did you not tell Cass Curtis to tell me that you were leaving town? You were driving out of town.
No, I did not.
Dale.
No, I did. How could you when I'm on a radio station a block down the street?
You were eating breakfast at a Hardee's restaurant, Dale.
After we got through with the show.
When you told me that you had to leave town to go to South Alabama, Dale.
No, I did not tell you that.
Yes, you did.
You're a liar, Matt. You are a liar.
Oh, am I?
Yes, you are. You are a liar.
This is shameful. It's so sad.
It sure is shameful that we have somebody like you on the radio station that sits there and lies and has a captive audience, and you looking me straight in the eye and knowing that you a liar. And I know that you're a liar.
You know what I'm not? I'm not a thief.
I don't know that. You may not have been caught.
I do.
You may not have been caught.
But you were.
Not for stealing.
No, yes,
I got
you were.
caught because it was they have never had an intent, never stole anything in my life, never been anywhere in my life as far as jail goes. One time, back when, 10, 15 years ago, and that had to do with.
So you have been to jail?
Well, certainly. You know that.
Couple times.
Or do you want to lie about that too, Matt?
Couple times.
2 times. 2 times.
Yeah.
Once, not last weekend.
Yeah.
Last year.
I'm glad you could clarify that.
I'm glad too, because you got that wrong too, did you? All your sources that you have, and none of them are accurate. Even when you talk over this mic, it's not accurate.
That's why I go to the source of the issue. That's why I go to
you.
Dale.
Then you call him a liar, right?
That's why I look at you in the eye.
Because you believe you others. Yeah, you can look in the eye, Matt.
Dale, more than anything, you're.
So you want me to get my hat and get out?
You're a comedy routine. Is what
really?
You are. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
good luck.
That's not all bad.
Good luck to you, Dale.
You don't mean that. Why would you say that? Why would you lie, Matt?
I believe it to be true.
Why would you lie?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you lie and wish me good luck?
Dale,
you're a liar, Matt.
Yeah, okay.
You are. I mean, now start laughing about it.
This is it.
Well, you started it. You wanted it finished this way.
I discover that you get arrested.
You call me a liar.
I discover that you get arrested. I expose the fact that you and Kathy lied to me, telling me that you had to leave town, which is why you had to cancel your appointment with me.
We never told you that.
You told me that through your campaign manager.
No.
I expose what happened to you in a Wal-Mart. Your excuse is that you had to pee, but they arrested you anyway. And your response is, I'm a liar.
You are.
Good for you, Dale.
Good for you, Matt.
It's like you're in 3rd grade.
No, it's like you're in kindergarten, big boy.
Oh,
you're in kindergarten.
So I'll see you later, Dale. Why don't you get out of here?
Well, okay. That's I say you can't have it your way, so get up and run your guest off, okay?
You know what?
What, big boy?
I can have it my way.
Why? Because when somebody leaves and you got this mic all by yourself,
Dale,
you can
you're
lie
a bully.
to your audience.
You're a bully.
How
You've always been a
you
bully.
said that?
I've watched you.
How?
You've tried to intimidate me. You try to intimidate other people, and you're not going to do it anymore. You're a joke. You're a comedy routine. Please leave. Thank you. Goodbye. See you.